The night shattered me, a catastrophe that ripped through my core and left me breathless. I'm Brandon, just shy of 20, but in the mirror, I've always seen someone else, someone alive, unbound. For years, I've stolen moments to become her, slipping into dresses and heels, my heart racing with a secret only I knew. My first time stepping out as a girl was a reckless thrill, unscathed by the world's judgment, and that taste of freedom made me fearless, perhaps foolishly so. Over 2 years, I mastered the alchemy of transformation into Katie, blending creamy foundation, coaxing my lashes into delicate curls, sculpting my shoulder-length hair into waves that danced with every step. My closet, though modest, was a trove of carefully chosen armor, padded briefs, a corset that carved my waist, breast forms that filled a size 10 dress like a promise. Last weekend, high on confidence, I chose a red dress, its hem teasing high on my thighs, paired with black heels that clicked with defiance. My hair fell in a crisp page boy, my reflection a vision of perfection. With a whisper of perfume trailing me, I stepped into the night, ready to claim the world as Katie, unaware it was about to strike back. Usually, I'd stick to safe spots, a theater across town, a distant mall. But that night, drunk on my own courage, I decided to tempt fate at the mall just blocks from home. My long legs, accentuated by the dress, turned heads as I crossed the parking lot. Each step clicked with purpose, the stairs fueling the image I wanted to project. Bold, untouchable. For nearly an hour, I floated through the mall, basking in the illusion. Then, like a storm rolling in, I saw them. The school's reigning clique, a wall of 8, striding down the concourse, 6 across, 2 deep. No escape, no shadows to duck into. My breath hitched, but I pressed forward, veering to slip past. I almost made it, until a voice sliced through the air. "Holy shit, that's Brandon!" Another chimed in. "What? Where? The girl in the red dress?" "That's him! I'd bet my life on it!" They swarmed me, their eyes dissecting every inch of my carefully crafted self. I stood frozen, a specimen pinned under their gaze. Ethan, the group's ringleader, nodded slowly, confirming their suspicions. "Yeah, it's Brandon, in a dress, in public." The words stung, followed by a barrage of slurs. Gay, queer, freak, each one a jab to my gut. My confidence, so solid moments ago, began to crack. Then Mia, one of the girls, stepped forward, her voice sharp. "Shut up, all of you." She grabbed my arm, pulling me through the crowd. "Brandon, you look amazing, but you need to get out of here. Now, I'll walk you to your car." Gratitude choked my words. All I managed was a quiet, "Thanks." We hurried out, my heels clicking faster, my heart hammering. I sped out of the lot, the night blurring past as I raced home, my bravado in tatters. School loomed in my mind, a gauntlet of mockery waiting to shred me until graduation. Tears stung my eyes as I pulled into the driveway. Home felt like a fragile sanctuary. I slipped through the back door, the kitchen's dim light guiding me to the foyer. But as my heel struck the hardwood, my parents appeared, blocking my path. Dad's head shook slowly, his eyes heavy with disbelief. Mom's mouth hung open, her gaze wide and unblinking. Silence stretched, thick and suffocating. I tried to push past, desperate to lock myself in my room, to hide from the world. My polished exterior, red dress, perfect makeup, curled hair, held firm. But inside, my ego was crumbling, piece by fragile piece. Dad's arm shot out, halting my escape. "This," Mom said, her voice steady but firm. "We need to talk about. Right now." My heart sank. I wanted to protest, to flee, but she tugged me into the family room and pointed to the couch. I perched on its edge, my red dress stark against the beige cushions, my parents looming across from me, their silence heavy. Then Mom spoke, her tone softer. "Brandon, we've known you've been dressing as a girl since you were little. It's not a shock. You looked lovely last night, despite the mascara streaking your cheeks. Why were you out? And why the tears? My fragile sense of safety shattered. First the mall, now this. My world was unraveling. Humiliation choked me, my hands trembled, and tears welled as I struggled to speak. The words, when they came, erupted in a chaotic flood. Love tangled with hate, joy clashing with despair, fear twisting into disgust. Sobs punctuated my shrieks, each confession raw and unstoppable, a toxic mess laid bare between us. My parents sat, listening, as I spilled everything: the thrill of being Katie, the terror of being seen, the shame of failing to resist who I was. When the words ran dry, I was empty, hollowed out by my own truth. Silence settled, thick and oppressive. Without a word, I stood, my heels clicking as I fled to my room. Each piece of Katie's wardrobe, the dress, the heels, the padded briefs, felt like a betrayal now. I tore them off, flinging them to the floor in a blur of anger. In the shower, I scrubbed away the makeup, the warm water mingling with fresh tears. Staring down at my body, I felt a surge of loathing and longing. I didn't want this maleness, yet it defined me. Unchangeable, without a surgeon's blade. By the time I collapsed into bed, my body shook with dread. School would be a battlefield, my reputation doomed. My parents' silence felt like condemnation. Sleep eluded me, my mind tormented by visions of social exile. Morning came, gray and heavy. I stayed in bed, too scared to face them. The door creaked open, and Mom stepped in, settling on the edge of my bed. "Rough night, huh?" she said gently. I couldn't answer. What was there to say? That I enjoyed the humiliation? "Brandon, dressing as a girl isn't the end of the world. Plenty of men do it. You looked beautiful last night, but that dress was too tight, and the hairstyle didn't suit you. Want my help to get it right?" Her words stunned me. "Help with what?" I mumbled, though I knew. "You know what I mean," she said, her eyes kind but unyielding. "Let's make you look like the young woman your age and size should be." I shook my head, panic rising. "Dad hates me. I can't. I'm quitting school." Her voice sharpened. "You're not quitting, and we don't hate you. Your father wants to talk at 4. He'll expect you as you are, but I think you should be the girl we saw last night." "No, Mom," I protested, my voice cracking. "Yes," she insisted. "You have to face this, or it'll destroy you. Let me help, and we'll create someone you and I can both be proud of." Mom's eyes held mine, unwavering. "Your father needs to see the real you, Brandon. The you that's aching to break free. And you need this for yourself, to find some peace. You know I'm right. Now get up, let's eat. And then we're shopping for the perfect outfit for when Dad gets home." Her tone left no room for argument. I dragged myself out of bed, my body heavy with dread, and followed her to the kitchen. Over a quick breakfast, I tried to cling to denial, to swear I'd never dress as Katie again. But Mom's resolve was relentless. She didn't push, she simply acted, pulling out a measuring tape as soon as we finished eating. Her chatter about dress styles and flattering cuts stirred something deep within me. The urge to transform, to be her, surged back, undeniable and fierce. I tried to mask it, standing rigid, forcing a stoic front, but my heart raced as she measured my waist, my hips, my chest, her hands steady and sure. At the mart, Mom marched straight to the lingerie section, grabbing a waist nipper and padded panty brief with purpose. My stomach churned. Any of the kids from last night could spot me here, in the heart of the dress shop, where Mom headed next without a word. I stood frozen, my pulse hammering, as she rifled through racks, holding up dresses and skirts, asking my opinion on colors and fits. My voice barely worked, my answers clipped, but she pressed on, undeterred, selecting 2 dresses, 2 skirts, 2 blouses, a pair of taupe flats, and white heels. I lingered outside the register, paranoid, while she paid. Driving home, my hands gripped the wheel, My mind a storm of fear and unanswered questions. Why was she doing this? Why did she think Dad needed to see me as Katie? I wanted to ask, but the words stuck, cowardice winning out. In my room, Mom didn't hesitate. "Undress and put these on," she said, tossing me a pair of panties. Reluctantly, I complied, then followed her to her bedroom, where she pulled out my makeup stash. How did she know where it was? "Your coloring suits this foundation," she said, handing me the bottle. "Go ahead, I'll watch." My hands shook as I applied it, her gaze steady over my shoulder. Each stroke rekindled that familiar thrill, the longing to be beautiful, to be Katie. By the time I smoothed on the foundation, my tremors eased, though I braced for their return. This was Mom's first time seeing me transform. She handed me her powder, instructing me to pat it over my face. The shine vanished, and with it, any lingering trace of Brandon's features. She suggested soft green eyeshadow, layered with luminous taupe, black eyeliner for the upper lids, green pencil below, and mascara to finish. Back in my room, she handed me the padded panty brief. "These will shape you better. It's a start." I tugged them on, the snug fit grounding me, then slid into pantyhose and the taupe flats. Mom wet my hair, set it in rollers, and watched as I hooked the bra and slipped in my homemade breast forms. The pale blue dress came next, its fabric cool against my skin as she zipped it up. My reflection showed a new silhouette, curvier, more natural. She brushed out my hair, pinning small bows on each side. I added blusher, lipstick, and swapped the flats for the white heels. Standing before the mirror, I saw her, Katie, sharper, more real than ever. Yet the weight of Dad's impending arrival pressed against my chest. The pull of being Katie swept over me like a tide, and I slipped effortlessly into what I called my girl mode. The mirror reflected a version of myself I'd never seen. Sharper, truer, more alive. I twirled, the pale blue dress flaring, my white heels clicking softly, and for a moment, I let myself revel in it. Mom stood nearby, silent until she spoke, her voice warm but pointed. "Now that we both see how much this means to you, let's have coffee and talk. Mother and daughter, long overdue." Her words sent a jolt through me. As I followed her to the kitchen, the dress's hem brushed my thighs, and for the first time, I felt like her daughter. A sensation both thrilling and disorienting. We poured coffee, and her questions came fast. Did I like boys? Did I want to be a girl full-time? Why the shame? I answered honestly, my voice steadier than I expected. No, I didn't see boys the way girls did. Yes, I dreamed of living as a woman someday. The shame? It stemmed from fear. Fear of the guys at the mall, the school's elite, all chiseled looks and swagger, who'd spotted me. They ruled the halls, while I was just a shadow passing through, our worlds divided by more than just a dress. Their words would spread, and the wannabes, desperate for their approval, would pounce, tearing me apart to climb their social ladder. I saw only one way out, a fantasy too wild to entertain. More likely, I'd end up battered in a hospital bed. After a light lunch, Mom had me try on the rest of the clothes she'd bought. She styled my hair in ways I'd never dared. Soft waves, a high ponytail, a sleek updo, each one transforming me further. By the end, I wore a plaid skirt, its pleats swaying with every step, paired with a white blouse and a thin green sweater. The taupe flats grounded me, and small gold earrings caught the light. I looked like any girl at school, but better, more me. Mom suggested fake nails, and when I didn't protest, she helped me apply them, trimming them neatly. I painted them a soft reddish brown, marveling at how they completed the picture. In the mirror, I saw her, the real me, yet the truth of my body lingered beneath the skirt, a quiet ache. The sound of Dad's car in the driveway snapped me back, panic urging me to bolt. Mom's hand on my arm anchored me. "Stay," she whispered. Time stretched, each second a lifetime, as I stood poised. knees together, hands folded, the picture of a teenage girl, my perfume faint in the air. I braced for judgment, but at least I'd face it as I wanted to be. Dad's footsteps echoed, and then he was there, his gaze sweeping from my curled hair to my nylon-clad legs, lingering on the gentle curve of the sweater over my chest. Silence gripped the room, my trembling only steadied by Mom's touch. "Your mother said you'd look nice," he said finally, his voice calm but searching. "She was right. Sit down and tell me why this matters so much, why you'd turn your back on the advantages men have." I sank onto the couch, my skirt fanning out, and gathered my courage. The words came, raw and deliberate. I told him how being Katie wasn't a choice, but a need, a truth woven into my core. I wanted to live as a girl, always. His talk of male privilege sparked defiance in me. "Advantages?" I challenged, my voice rising. "What advantages? Tell me why you think that's true when every day I feel trapped in a body that doesn't fit." I faced Dad, my heart pounding, the plaid skirt swaying as I shifted. "You say men have the advantage, but do they? Mom runs this family. She decides, and we follow, even you. Men get sent to war, feel pressured to brawl or boast. Sure, they might earn a bit more, but women shape the home, the kids, the heart of it all. A dad pushes his son to football stardom, and when the kid wins big, who's the first name he calls? 'Hi, Mom,' not Dad. Men don't have it better. They just think they do. But that's not why I want this. I felt like a girl forever, dressing up in secret, thinking I was good at it, until the mall proved I wasn't." Dad leaned back, silent for a beat, his eyes searching mine. Then he spoke, his voice steady. "If this is who you are, and you're this convincing as a girl, why not keep going? We'll get you the clothes you need." My stomach lurched. "School," I whispered, the word heavy with dread. "If you choose this, yes, school too," he said. "After the mall, there's no hiding now. Show up as a girl, let them see you, really see you. Their words won't matter if you own it. The other kids will look and decide for themselves. You'll get to be the girl you say you are." His words hit like a spark, igniting a truth I'd buried. If I walked into school as Katie, no rumor could outshine my presence. But the cost, endless taunts, sly glances, teachers turning a blind eye while students sharpened their barbs. Could I withstand it? Our eyes locked, his steady, mine wavering. He changed the subject. "What's for dinner? Or we could go out. Your call." Mom jumped in. "Let's go out. Give us girls a minute to freshen up." At the restaurant, still in my plaid skirt and sweater, I sat between them, the normalcy surreal. Neither had asked my name until we waited for our food. "It's Katie," I said, and Dad nodded, testing the name as if it were new. By the time we got home, he was calling me Katie without hesitation, like it was natural. They didn't press about Monday, leaving Sunday for me to wrestle with my choice. Morning came, and I stared at my reflection, a stranger in boyish lines. Without overthinking, I slipped into clean panties, hooked my bra, and chose the tan skirt and pink blouse. A quick brush through my hair, the taupe flats, and I was in the kitchen. Mom didn't flinch, just handed me plates to set the table, casually mentioning we had 2 hours before church. Church. The word jolted me. I'd forgotten. As we arranged breakfast, she added, "Wear the blue dress, honey. I've got a white jacket that might fit, and with your white heels, it'll look perfect. Do your makeup, and I'll help with your hair." After dishes, I bolted to my room, stripped and showered, the hot water washing away doubt. 10 minutes later, I sat at my makeshift vanity, a small card table, layering foundation with care, blending eyeshadow, soft green, luminous taupe, then eyeliner, mascara, and a touch of lipstick. Each stroke steadied me, Katie emerging clearer in the mirror, ready to face the world, or at least the pews, as the girl I was meant to be. I slipped into the padded panty brief, the waist nipper hugging my sides, then fastened my bra, tucking in the birdseed breast forms. The blue dress glided over my head, its fabric settling softly against my skin. Mom appeared, deftly arranging my hair with a white headband to frame my face. She handed me pearl earrings, a matching choker, and a delicate opal ring, their weight grounding me. A spritz of perfume, a swipe of lipstick, and I was done. The mirror reflected Katie, undeniable and complete. Doubt vanished. Stepping into church like this would lock my path. I hugged Mom, her warmth steadying me, then filled a white purse with my wallet, lipstick, and tissues. As I stepped out of my room, my heart thrummed with resolve. Dad drove, the car humming with unspoken tension. At the church lot, he turned to me, his voice low. "You sure, Katie?" He knew the stakes. Half the school attended our church. One step out, and there'd be no retreat. I nodded, my throat tight, and he opened my door. We walked in together, Mom's hand brushing mine. The first face I saw was Mia's, her eyes widening with recognition. "Katie, I didn't think I'd see you again," she said, her grin infectious as she thrust out her hand. "I'm Mia." "Katie," I replied, my forced smile softening into something real. She sat with us through the service, her presence a quiet anchor. As we filed out, she took charge, introducing me to kids who hadn't heard the mall gossip, who didn't know Brandon. Their friendliness caught me off guard. Boys eyeing me with curiosity, girls sizing me up, wary of competition. It was almost comical, their motives transparent. The boys saw a new prospect, the girls a threat to their status. Mom and Dad lingered, chatting with the minister, while Mia held court outside, me at her side, silent but watchful. Most kids drifted away, leaving Alyssa, her brother Logan, Dylan, and his twin Ryan. Logan, smitten with Mia, hovered close. Alyssa and Dylan, a year older, were a tight pair. Ryan and I stood apart, unattached, and I wanted it that way. Complications were the last thing I needed. Then, Alyssa invited everyone to her place for an afternoon cookout. I glanced at Mia, pleading silently for an escape, but she lit up. "Sounds fun!" Before I could dodge, Ryan turned to me. "Come with me, Katie." I froze, words stuck. Mia pulled me aside, her voice urgent. "This is your shot, Katie. Show up at school as yourself, or the sharks will tear you apart. If Dylan, Logan, and Ryan accept you, they could shield you from the worst. You have to go, and tell them your truth yourself." I stammered. "I never said I'd go to school like this." Her brown eyes pierced mine. "But you're here, in church, dressed as Katie. You wouldn't be unless this was real. Face it, everyone's seen you now. There's no hiding. Go to the cookout, own it, or you'll be trapped in your house forever." Her words struck like a blade, slicing through my fear. She was right. My carefully built shell was cracking, and I needed allies to survive school's gauntlet. My mind spun, caught between terror and the fierce pull to be the girl I knew I was. Mia had seen my truth and wouldn't let me run from it. I scanned the faces of the kids around me, their expressions unreadable, a knot of dread tightening in my chest. Mom and Dad approached, and before I could speak, Mia jumped in, explaining the cookout at Alyssa's and asking if I could go. Their eyes turned to me, searching for a signal. Dad shrugged. "It's your call, Katie." I nodded, the weight of inevitability pressing down. There was no other choice. We left, Mia darting off to confirm I'd be there. Back home, Mom didn't hesitate. "You'll need casual clothes," she said, steering us back to the mart. We grabbed a jean skirt, denim shorts, a pair of jeans, and a few tops, plus another padded panty brief. On the way home, she stopped at the mall, insisting on better breast forms. At a department store, we picked a pair, soft, skin-toned, realistic. I didn't try them on, too nervous to linger, but anticipation flickered beneath my fear. At home, Dad lounged in front of the TV as I slipped into my room. I shed the blue dress and tried the jeans, but they hung loose. Digging into both panty briefs, I rearranged the foam pads in my panties, sculpting rounder hips and a subtle pouch below my belt line, mimicking a girl's silhouette. The new breast forms went into my bra, their weight tugging the straps, grounding me in a way that felt right. I pulled on the rose-colored top, slipped into my flats, and touched up my lipstick. Mom handed me a new purse and her old wallet. As I transferred my ID and cash, a strange calm settled over me. This was it. The best I could be. No more tricks, no more hiding. I drove to Alyssa's, my stomach churning like I was walking to my doom. Checking the mirror one last time, I stepped out and approached the door, heart hammering. Logan greeted me, all easy smiles, introducing me to his parents before leading me to the backyard. Alyssa was there, Ryan too, and soon the others arrived. Mia, Dylan, Logan's sister Alyssa, and a few more. Mia didn't waste a second. "Katie has something important to say," she announced, leaving me alone under their collective stare. My throat tightened, eyes darting from face to face, searching for a hint of their reactions. "I'm not who you think," I started, the words heavy, urging me to bolt. "You know me, but not like this. My real name is Brandon." Gasps rippled through them. Logan's jaw dropped. "Brandon? No way! I thought you looked familiar, but—" Mia cut in, her voice firm. "She's Brandon, yes. But this, Katie, is who she really is. Right, Katie?" I sank into a chair, tears brimming as I spilled everything. The mall, the humiliation, my parents' discovery, the ache of hiding who I was. Silence followed, thick and unbearable. I stood, ready to flee, to end this nightmare at home. Ryan's hand shot out, gripping my arm. "You're Brandon? I thought you were cute." Alyssa smirked. "She is cute, idiot. You're just mad you were into her." Ryan's face reddened. "Was not," he snapped, releasing me. Tension hung heavy, Ryan's glare the sharpest. Dylan grinned, oblivious. "She's got a cute butt." "Shut up, Dylan," Alyssa snapped, stepping toward me. "You're not leaving, Katie. Tell us everything. Then we're eating. Sit." Logan handed me a soda, and with every eye on me, I took a breath and began to unravel my truth. I poured out my story, from childhood's secret dresses to the terror gripping me now, confessing my plan to attend school as Katie the next day. My voice trembled, but I held nothing back, the weight of their stares pressing harder with every word. Dylan broke the silence, his tone blunt. "The jocks and their groupies will rip you apart, Katie. Most kids might ignore you, but don't bet on it." Alyssa nodded, her eyes steady. "That's why I wanted her here," she said. "Mia told me after the mall, and we knew Katie would need backup. You guys can block some of the hate, and us girls can shield her in other ways." She looked at me, her voice softening. "I know you thought Mia would keep quiet, but we're tight. You need us, and this was the best way to get it out there." Ryan's sullen glare burned into me, his jaw tight, while the others listened, their faces a mix of curiosity and unease. Mia and Alyssa flanked me, pulling me into the kitchen to prep salads and burgers, the clatter of dishes a brief distraction. As we carried trays to the patio, I caught the guys huddled, their voices low. Alyssa nudged me to focus on setting out drinks and bowls, ignoring their whispers. Logan and Dylan fired up the grill, and the girls drifted to their sides, leaving me alone with Ryan's unrelenting stare. I couldn't take it anymore. Crossing the yard, I faced him, my voice sharp. "Ryan, you have no idea how hard it was to show up today. I expected pushback, yours especially. But I've bared everything. Why do you keep staring? Got more questions?" His eyes locked on mine, cold. "You've said enough." I pressed, emboldened. "Alyssa's right, isn't she? You thought I was cute until you knew the truth. You're scared. Scared someone might razz you for liking me." His face flushed. "No way. I just don't like guys. That's it." I had no more words for him. Grabbing a soda, I returned to the table, letting the tension dissolve. Logan served burgers, and we ate, the conversation veering to music, movies, anything but me. I stayed quiet, grateful for the reprieve, even as Alyssa and Mia chatted about new styles I secretly loved but wouldn't touch. By 7, we cleaned up, and I left, everyone but Ryan offering warm hugs. At home, I sank into a bath, shaving every inch of my skin, smoothing lotion to soften it, and laid out tomorrow's outfit: a pleated skirt, white blouse, flats. Mom peeked in, promising to go with me to school. "To make it easier," she said. "Easy?" Ryan's reaction told me I'd be lucky to survive the week. Morning came, and I rose early, shaving close, my hands steady as I applied makeup. Foundation, soft eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, and red lipstick. I slipped into the padded panty brief, foam pads arranged for a natural curve, then the bra with my new breast forms, their weight reassuring. The skirt swished as I moved, the blouse crisp, and Mom brushed my hair into a sleek style, her hands lingering like she needed the connection. A spritz of perfume, and I was ready. I drove, Mom trailing in her car. At school, I sat frozen in the driver's seat, dread pooling in my gut. Finally, I stepped out, Mom at my side, and we walked toward the entrance. The first face I saw was Ethan's, the guy who'd called me out at the mall. His jaw dropped as we strode past, my heels clicking, my heart racing, straight into the office. The principal's calm surprised me. He mentioned another boy who'd done this years ago, then swiftly arranged everything, issuing me a school ID as Katie and a note for each teacher. I was sent to class, my heart still racing. Most kids mistook me for a new student, and for a few hours I blended in, the day unfolding normally. Alyssa was by my side as we headed to math when Chase, the bully from the mall, cornered me. His hulking frame pinned me against the wall, his questions crude and vicious. Trapped, I let him spew, my body tense. Alyssa bolted, returning seconds later with 3 guys, Ryan among them. They yanked Chase back, his body hitting the floor. He sprang up, fists clenched, ready to lunge. But Ryan stepped in, voice low and dangerous. "You're real tough with girls, Chase. Try me instead." Chase hesitated, his bravado faltering. "That ain't no girl. That's Brandon, that fag in a dress." Ryan didn't flinch. "I know her, she's a girl to me. So what's it gonna be? Fight me or shut up." A crowd had gathered, every word Chase spat exposing me. With a sneer, he pointed at me, then Ryan, and stormed off. Shaken, I made it to class, then lunch, where I sat with Mia and Logan. I spilled everything: Chase's attack, Ryan's defense, my bone-deep fear. They promised it'd be okay, their words a thin lifeline as we returned to class. The day passed without more trouble, but unease gnawed at me. Next morning, I froze at my locker. A dildo was glued to it, positioned cruelly at mouth level, the word fag scrawled across the metal in angry strokes. Chase's work, no doubt, though I had no proof. Whispers spread, drawing a crowd. Most kids were kind or indifferent, but Chase's crew smirked from a distance. The janitor scraped it off and cleaned the locker by lunch, and the day quieted. Leaving school that afternoon, I let my guard slip when one of Chase's girlfriends approached, her apology soft. Then a fist slammed into my head, sending me to the ground. As I scrambled up, a boot crashed into my groin, pain exploding through me. Chase's voice rang out, jeering, calling me a fag as his friends laughed. Blood trickled from my ear as they sauntered away. A teacher found me, sprawled on the pavement, and called the police and EMTs. At the hospital, they stripped me down, my secret laid bare. But the doctor focused only on the damage, explaining it to me and my parents, who arrived minutes later. My testicles were crushed beyond repair. No chance of fathering kids, even if I'd wanted to. They stitched my torn ear and scalp, keeping me overnight. Lying in that sterile bed, pain pulsed, but anger burned hotter. I was furious at myself for walking into this, at the school for letting it happen, at Chase for his cruel, cowardly attack. The more I thought, the fiercer my resolve grew. Chase and his kind wouldn't break me. I'd be Katie, stronger than ever, and they wouldn't win. I was done hiding. Katie was who I'd be, no matter the cost. That resolve hardened as I lay in the hospital, pain radiating from my injuries. Dad picked me up the next morning, bringing a skirt and blouse, his silence kind but heavy with unspoken anger at the police's inaction against Chase. At home, I soaked in a warm bath, easing my aching body, and slept fitfully. The next morning, despite Mom's protests, I got ready for school, layering makeup to mask the bruises blooming across my face. Bandages clung to my scalp, and a limp betrayed my pain as I walked into school. My locker was defaced again, a jockstrap glued to the door, a rubber vagina grotesquely tucked inside. I tore it off, jaw tight, and headed to class. Ryan spotted me, his usual sullen look shifting to a grin, a flicker of respect in his eyes. Word of my beating had spread, and everyone knew Chase was behind it. Girls swarmed me, some offering comfort, others prying for gossip, but it was Logan, Dylan, and Ryan who lifted my spirits. Ryan's voice cracked as he apologized, near tears, admitting he'd heard rumors of an attack and done nothing. Guilt shadowed his face, but before I could respond, I saw Chase in the hall. Our eyes locked, his sneer venomous. "Not enough the first time? I'll fix that." He reared back, fist aimed at my face, but Logan grabbed his arm, spun him around, and smashed his fist into Chase's nose. The crack of bone echoed as Chase crumpled, blood streaming. Logan, panting, took my arm and led me away, leaving Chase sprawled on the floor. I wanted to laugh, to cry, my emotions a tangled mess as we walked off. After that, the worst of the harassment faded, though snide comments lingered. Ryan softened, his attitude thawing, and one Sunday he asked me to join him at church, my first date. My heart raced, but it was also my last date for months. As weeks turned to summer, Katie became my only name, and I blended in as just another girl, though invitations to hang out were rare. Alyssa and Mia became my anchors, teaching me the nuances of girlhood, how to carry myself, how to shrug off the idea that I was just a boy in a skirt. They laughed about using boys, but with no one to practice on, I let that go. Then came Caleb. I'd known him forever, but we hadn't spoken since I started at school as Katie. Out of nowhere, he asked me to a movie. I was a nervous wreck when he picked me up, but his easy smile steadied me. That night, he kissed me, the first boy to do so, and it hit me. I was pretty to someone beyond my parents. Despite the pain, the fear, the beating, it was worth it. Caleb's kiss made me feel whole, like I belonged. That date sparked a wave of party invites, some with Alyssa, Mia, and even Ryan, who lingered around me, his eyes conflicted. I sensed he wanted to ask me out, but wrestled with what it meant, liking a girl who wasn't born one. Over the summer, small breasts began to sprout, a quiet thrill under my skin. I took a waitressing job, moving through the world with ease, no longer doubting my ability to pass. The humiliation of the past faded, replaced by a growing sense of myself as a young woman. Dad, fiercely protective after the attack, pushed to switch schools, but I refused. Running would only shift the problem. I stayed, building a circle of friends I could trust. Ryan started showing up at the diner every night, always at the end of my shift, nursing a coffee and stealing glances. His excuses were flimsy, but his presence warmed me, hinting at something more. I'd do it all again if I had to, every jab, every bruise, because it forged me into Katie, unapologetic and real. But I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Yet, as summer waned, a letter arrived, slipped under my door in the dead of night. No stamp, no address, just my name in sharp, unfamiliar handwriting. Inside, a single line chilled me. "You think you've won, but I'm watching." My pulse quickened. Chase was gone, expelled after the fight. But the words carried his venom. Or was it someone else? A new shadow loomed, and as I stood in my room, clutching the note, I realized my fight wasn't over. Someone out there wasn't done with Katie, and I'd have to face them, whoever they were, with the same fire that brought me this far.